Okay, this is Gamer Blave, and here we are with Jagged Alliance 2. And this game has always had a very special place in my heart. I've come back to it a number of times over the years. I think I've only beaten it probably once. But, you know, maybe periodically throughout the time playing it, I'll just kind of talk about my history with the game. I definitely don't claim to be good at it, but I've definitely kind of... I played this when it came out and a number of times since, but there's a lot that I don't know about it for sure, and I know that its name is it's hallowed in certain halls, and but as I said, it has a very special place in my heart as well, and I've always kind of wanted to go back to it. I've been very hesitant to record it for a couple of reasons, and I'm going to wrap up my intro monologue here very shortly. But I've been very hesitant to record it for a couple of reasons. One, as I said, I'm not really that good at it, and two, it's a rather long game, at least the way that I play it. So, you know, I don't know if this is going to be an entire playthrough. Sometimes I do kind of just I guess you'd say let's tries, even though I've definitely tried this game before. I know how to play the game. Now, the way that I'm recording this, for some reason, it's not playing the cutscenes. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and try to splice in the intro cutscenes. So sadly, I don't think we're going to get that right away, but hopefully I'll be able to get that in. I'm going to go with save anytime for a couple of reasons. One, if we're in a really long mission, sometimes, guys, I just don't have the I don't have the leisure to just sit down and play games sometimes for, you know, hours at a time. Sometimes I only get 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here. So that's one reason. Another reason is you know, possible stability issues. If the game crashes, you know, I want to be able to, you know, save if I'm about to do something a little bit weird and the game might crash. Tons of guns, we're obviously going to check that. Obviously going to check it. And I'm going to have sci-fi on. I've always liked that little element to the game. So we're going to have that on here. Experienced, we're gonna leave that on. I'm not going for expert, so we're going to have that on. Chances are, though, I'm probably going to get punished even on experience.
Approaching waypoint, Charlie. Left column, please advise. Left column, please advise. Make it, column. Fire station Tango, on coordinates. Fire station Tango, fire when ready. Company.
I was happy to hear you have decided to take the assignment. No doubt your inquiries have shown that I, Enrico Chivaldori, speak the truth. In the past 10 years, since killing my father and framing me, my wife has inflicted great suffering upon my people. Those that may be of value to her are imprisoned, beaten, and tortured. The old, the sick, even infants with birth defects are removed swiftly from the population. Now it is time to remove her. I have brought the money you requested. It is everything I have. However, Arulco is full of gold and silver, and you might be able to convince the miners to help us in the struggle. There also exists a small but determined rebel movement. They are led by a man named Miguel Cordona. If you can locate Miguel, I have written a letter for you to give him. I believe he will accept you and prove to be an invaluable ally. I wish you luck, my friend.
So we have new email. Let's go ahead and check that out. This is the main thing we need to know. This new email that we haven't read. We know what you're thinking. I'm not going to read all of this, but basically, if for you know what, I'm going to more or less assume that if you are here, if you have searched Jagged Alliance 2, then you probably know probably even more than I do about the game. But if for some reason you're here and you do not know anything about it, if this is your first encounter with Jagged Alliance 2, then wow, you should go get this game. It's an amazing game. But this is the really kind of the clever, unique way that they have of you being able to kind of customize a mercenary yourself, and you get this neat way of doing it, and you have an activation code for this website that you go to, and you get to do that. So we're going to do that first. We also have a couple of emails from Enrico, the guy who was in the cutscene and who is going to play I don't know if you'd say a direct role throughout the entire thing, but he is he's the one who has sent us on this mission, and we are definitely going to find out more about who he is and why all of this is going on as we continue here. So first thing we want to do is go to Imp and make our mercenary. So that was XEP 624. Let's get that going on. So what we're going to do is begin and with our name. So we are Gamer Blave, and our nickname is Blave. Our gender is male. Our personality. Now this is the part I'm always torn on this one. The very first time that I played Jagged Alliance 2, I went through this, and I don't know if you would say quite role-played it, but I picked the ones that I thought were like the coolest or the most funny, and I wound up with this character who was very psycho, who just would constantly lose control and burst fire every time. And I don't really want to do that. So you kind of have to. I kind of like to walk the line between picking ones that I think are entertaining, but then also would kind of lean towards traits that you traits that I might want in a mercenary. So it's not really going to be me, obviously. Maybe not. Might not be obvious to you, but I don't think I would make a very good mercenary. So I'm not trying to make me here, but I'm trying to make someone who I think would be at least a fairly good mercenary, more or less, and with a little bit of exception, and we will get to that in a little bit. So here I think I'm going to go with Clint Eastwood. I think we could go with a couple of other ones here. I think that we're going to be. I'm not exactly sure which one Houdini would do for you. Maybe that would be stealth, because there's not. I don't think there's really magic in the. I mean, I know there's not magic, but I mean like illusion or things like that. Sleight of hand, that kind of thing. I mean, I guess it might be like high dexterity. Anyway, I digress. Let's go. I'm going to go with Clint Eastwood here. Prowess with guns, probably. Okay, you were waiting in line at a circus, watching a punk teenager attempt to throw darts at balloons in order to win a prize. He misses the first 3 shots and pays for more, apparently after a luxurious prize, a golden nose ring for his girlfriend. After watching him for 20 minutes, you grow frustrated. You have quite a bit of skill in this game, so you... 1. Decide to offer him a bit of on-the-spot coaching and show him how to throw a dart properly. 2. Skillfully toss darts over his shoulder so that no one notices, and he wins the prize. 3. Grab him by his chain-wearing neck and stick his concrete-hard, pointy, purple hair spikes through the gigantic balloons he cannot seem to otherwise hit. Kindly ask the game's other attendant if he could possibly spare a moment from his 12-pack so that you two could possibly play. Well, I like the idea of this one just because, I mean, he's being very inconsiderate, but at the same time, what attribute is this one? What are we actually going for here, other than maybe personality? This one is probably going to be indicating that we have, we're just really, really good at throwing. I mean, I don't know. These 3 and 4 are the ones that I'm most inclined to. I'm gonna go with 4. I'll go with 4 actually, because here we actually get to play, and we get to. I would be more. In this particular situation, I would be more upset with the actual worker who is neglecting his duties than with a customer who is just wanting to play the game and being, I don't know, a little bit irritating. But the actual worker who is neglecting his duties is more irritating to me. Okay, you've just watched someone put $1 million into a locker at a bus station, amazed that he just walks away, albeit with a key. You find yourself in a moral dilemma. Thankfully, it does not last long. You, 1. Wait for the coast to clear, pick the lock, and take the money. 2. Clear the coast yourself. Who cares? You got $1 million. Blow open the lock with your gun, walk coolly out of the building, and grab the first blonde you happen to pass by. Exactly. Follow him. Under the cover of darkness, you ambush him and grab the key along with any other goodies he might be carrying, like keys to other lockers. Call the police, sure that something illegal is taking place, and hope for a small reward. Okay, so I don't necessarily like everything the second one says about the personality here. I don't. But I do like kind of the bravado of it. There is another part of me that says, I do like the stealthy approach. I do like the stealthy approach. I would kind of like to be able to have my cake and eat it too. But I don't want to go too far towards the stealth. I do like a little. I do like a little bit more loud and proud than I do. I do lean a little bit more in that direction than I do towards the stealth. Just because. Well, I'm not that good. I don't have a whole lot of finesse. So I'm going to go with clear the coast yourself here. Okay, suppose you owned a pickup truck and lived in Tennessee. What is the most likely item displayed in a rearview mirror? Well, I do live in Tennessee. Sadly, I do not own a pickup truck. But if I did, what would I display in my rearview mirror? Okay, your rack of semi-automatic hunting rifles for those really aggressive deer. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. A peace sign, the rebel flag, silhouette of a naked woman to complement those on your mud flaps, a comical character with 2 big old guns, and the words "back off" in blood red letters. Okay, so actually I kind of like all of these except for number 2. As like legitimate things that I would probably put on my truck if I did own a truck. But the one that I actually find the most funny, they did say for last here, a comical character with 2 big old guns and the words "back off" in blood red letters. A certain annoying, pathetic, furry purple dinosaur should be Okay, so they've already kind of spelled out their feelings about Barney. Now, I mean, this kind of already dates the game, because I would imagine a lot of people picking up the game now, if they were picking it up for the first time and weren't playing it back when this game came out, probably wouldn't even know who Barney was, or, you know, because I imagine, as far as I know, he's no longer, you know, in the culture, so to speak. But I didn't really hate Barney that much. That being said, I mean, I never really watched it. You know, I would just catch the little, you know, I love you, you love me, all that kind of stuff. You know, when the ads for it came on, you know, and it was moderately irritating, not such a big deal. So I'm gonna go with Hung from a Tree. I don't hate him that much. Okay, you are alone and asleep in your bed at night when you hear a sound downstairs. You are certain someone is breaking into your house. In the lingering seconds between awakening and your impending heart attack, you reach for the phone and call 911. What would you most likely do next? Scream at the top of your lungs until your vocal cords can't speak. Cords feel like gravel. Speaking of that, I have like a wicked sinus infection right now, and my vocal cords do feel like gravel. The only reason I'm actually recording something right now is just because I just really wanted to play something, and I really wanted to record something. So, you know, it just worked out that way. But yeah, my voice is just trash right now. So my apologies for that. 2, grab a knife and head downstairs after the intruder. 3, stay on the bed and stay on the phone and hide under the bed. 4, realizing that you're trapped, you bolt out the nearest exit, even if that means jumping out the second-story window. 5, grab your gun, begin blowing holes through the floor of your bedroom and yell, "Yeah, come on up and get some of this, tough guy." I'm gonna go with grab a knife and head downstairs after the intruder. It seems a little bit less psycho than 5. I mean, if it was like grab a gun and head downstairs after the intruder, or grab a gun and, like, you know, make sure that the intruder, grab a gun and call the cop, I don't know. But that one just seems a little bit over the top. So let's go for something measured, but like not too passive here. Okay, in the middle of a normal day in a large American city, you notice an army surplus store being looted. Thinking, with a decided lack of morals, that this must be your lucky day, you rush inside. There are, however, only 4 things left in the store. You grab one and rush out. Which one do you grab? Okay, so we can get a brand new computer, minus, of course, the necessary manuals, a complete set of survival knives with the special slicer and dicer attachment kit, night vision goggles bundled with an illustrated guide, daytime, the unnecessary hazard. Bob, the night clerk, who is wrapped in duct tape, but otherwise okay. So, based on the fact that the predicate of this question is that we're going in with a decided lack of morals, so whatever we choose is a lack of morals. It's not like we're going in to rescue Bob. Presumably we're going in to kidnap Bob. That would be number 4. I'm not really interested in kidnapping Bob. That's not it. I mean, if we were going in to rescue Bob, maybe that's a legitimate one. But my understanding of that would be that we were going in to get it. So the ones that I'm most interested in would be the survival knives, or number 3, daytime, the unnecessary hazard. Getting night ops would be pretty useful. So I'm going to go with 3 here. I'm going to go with 3, and we'll see what happens. Okay, you are applying for a job as a butcher. In an effort to give yourself the edge over other applicants, you demonstrate that you can skillfully wield 2 blades at the same time. Take a few liberties with your background, such as that high-profile and fictional position you held as a foreman at Bob's Slaughterhouse. Show up well-dressed and confident that you are the perfect candidate. Begin practicing prime cuts on neighborhood pets. Gross. Okay, I'm gonna go with number 3 here. That's what my gut's telling me to do. Okay, your wife is 3 hours late coming home and hasn't called. You, 1, didn't really notice. 2, tell Candy there's no rush to leave. Yes, that is definitely the guy that I want to play here. That's it. That's it. We don't even need to go on. Okay, you live next door to a college frat house. Following weekend after weekend of loud and crazy parties, you, 1, decide that yes, You really are too old for this? Yeah, I mean, well, that would definitely be me. That would definitely be me. Okay, really begin to doubt that your wife is having a Rubbermaid party for the boys. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's kind of in contrast to that last one. Okay, bribe your plumber to hook their septic tank directly to the CO2 system after installing several strategically placed Guinness signs. Okay, I like that one. Do nothing, fearing that calling the police would only lead them to do God knows what to your property. I like 3. I like 3. Driving to work in your new sports car, you pull up behind a young man in a minivan going approximately -5 miles per hour. You are unable to pass him. In your frustration, begin to fantasize 1. That you press R for rocket launcher. 2. That you could hold a class wherein you would teach people proper Autobahn driving techniques. 3. That a ramming device springs out from the front of your car and baps the car faster. That every curse you're uttering could be broadcast loudly and in stereo inside his vehicle. 5. That the psychic ray of death spins them off the road, where they would be slapped by Mario Andretti, who says, "Give me your license." Okay, so I am going to go with option number 3. The ramming device springs out of your car. I like that one. I mean, possibly teach the class, but I don't know. That just seems like it would take even more of my time than they're wasting by going -5 miles an hour. So I'm not interested. Typically, you do not endorse violence. However, you would easily pay $1,000 to see the following fight: Jackie Chan versus Jean-Claude Van Damme. And man, I would like to see that. I actually really do like good martial arts movies, and man, especially when this came out, I was a huge fan of both of those guys' movies. That being said, this isn't necessarily about me personally. This is about the mercenary that I would want to play. Crocodile Dundee versus Tarzan. Man, I'm not exactly sure what that would do for us. I mean, Crocodile Dundee, obviously, we're talking about a big knife. Tarzan, I don't know. I mean, he swings throughout the jungle. I mean, maybe camouflage? I don't know. Barbie versus Godzilla. I mean, that's just going to be one-sided there. The NRA versus Congress. That's just going to be a preference for guns, I think, And, depending on how you feel about certain things, that is going to help you vent some frustration, maybe. And possibly, depending on which side, either side of the issue, possibly, help you vent some frustration. Mike Tyson versus the Incredible Hulk. Once again, I think that'd be pretty one-sided. Bill Gates versus RoboCop. Okay, depending on how you feel about Windows and Microsoft products. Your mate versus the defensive line of the Washington Redskins. That name, frankly, is just plain old racist, so we definitely can't select that one. No, really, I do endorse violence. Yeah, for sure. So I think I want to either go with 8 or 4 here. And in this particular case, I think I'm going to go with 4. The NRA versus Congress, but I do really appreciate number 8 there. I think that's pretty funny. During the summer, you generally think. I actually remember this question. I like this a lot. Okay, and that's more than you can say for yourself in other seasons. 2, that your children will, any day now, drive you completely insane. And you're close already. Oh yeah, that's true too. This fashion trend towards less is more is a very good thing. 4, it's too damn hot. Yeah, we're obviously going with 4. I can't imagine anyone going with anything else. Okay, there is very little you would not do willingly, except 1, sit in a window seat of a small airplane as you circle in a holding pattern for 2 hours, even if the captain assures you that the plane has plenty of fuel and the weather is good. 2, ever admit that once, just once, you were turned on by a comic book character. 3, spend a week walking through the desert, even if you knew that the woman of your dreams would be on the other side. 4, software development. Okay, so basically it's suggesting that we would basically do more or less anything but this one particular thing. Now, full disclosure, my profession is software development, so the mercenary that we're going to play would not willingly do software development. That's for dang sure. So that's what we're doing. Okay, if you were a Major League Baseball player, you would be best known for your 1. Accurate pitching, 2. Switch hitting, 3. Enormous bat. Yes. Enormous bat. Although, let's read number 4 real quick. Outlandish requests for a bigger salary. I mean, who can really scrape by at $1 million bucks? $1 million. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's actually probably a fairly small salary in Major League Baseball these days. But anyway, yes, enormous bat. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Now, the last question, 16 of 16. I know this takes a good while, but there's actually a whole lot of things that can happen with your guy. So, I would encourage you, if for some reason, once again, if you're here and you have not played this game, I would encourage you to really kind of experiment with these because, they really can affect how your game goes a lot. The not only the traits that you get, but your character's demeanor can be affected quite a bit. Okay, you're on a commercial jetliner which crashes in a remote mountain range. Half the passengers survive the impact. Fortunately, you are one of them. Being the leader that you are, 1. Gather the survivors and announce that you will lead the team down the mountainside to seek help. 2. Concerned with starvation, declare yourself chef and send a team to see if the heavyset woman you spotted earlier in first class survived. That's pretty good. Okay, 3. Gather the survivors around the wreckage and light what remains of the fuel tanks. As the fire grows in intensity, you yell repeatedly, "Why prolong it?" 4. Hunt down the bar cart. Finding it intact, you organize one last drunken blowout before everyone freezes to death. Okay, so, who do we want this guy to be? This is the question. Do we want him to be the kind of happy-go-lucky guy that just assumes that everyone's going to die here and organizes a drunken blowout? Or, because I think it's between 1 and 4. I guess I'll go with 1. Let's go with 1. Okay, and we're going to go with yes. So we gathered the survivors and organized a search party down the mountain, just if you didn't remember what 1 was. Okay, so we're sure of ourselves, impressive. Okay, so now we go with attributes. Now attributes is the interesting one. This is where we don't necessarily go with the guy who we want to be. We have to kind of manipulate it to who the guy we want to become. Because you really have to sacrifice in terms of your starting skills, because there are, for instance, the explosive, the medical, and mechanical. These we might train these up a little bit, but for the most part, we're not going to have very high skills in these, probably even by the end of the game. Marksmanship, I'm definitely not going to put any more in that right now. That's going to get trained up. Every time we shoot at something, it's going to get trained up, and we're just going to do a whole lot of shooting and stuff. Leadership, I'm going to have to drop this thing down. We're going to have to drop it way down because we need these other things. Now, wisdom, we need this really high. That's going to affect every time we perform a skill, every time we do something. This is going to give us a higher rate of increasing that skill. And then other things that we need, right? We need high dexterity, and we need really, really high agility. That's our action points. And then dexterity, this is something that it actually took me a while to find out, that dexterity actually influences your abilities in terms of your ability to interrupt someone. So I had always had trouble before, and I wouldn't get interrupts because I was always like, well, dex, I don't really need a very high dex. And I would have, guys who were like, reasonable level, but they would never win, interrupts until I started learning a little bit more about these skills. So I mean, like, honestly, your physical skills are just really, really important, and these things take a really long time to train up. Now, health, honestly, we really need a really high one as well. So strength, I mean, we're gonna want a high strength too. So this is kind of what we're left with. I mean, not what we're left with. So we don't want lower strength than this. We would presumably want higher. Strength is much more difficult to train than marksmanship. Much more difficult to train, at least as I recall. Now, I think that there are exploits in terms of training all of these things. We're not going to do any of those things. So, you know, what can we do? Can we bring it down to 45? Should I bring it down to 40? I don't know. I mean, we're not going to hit squat with this unless we're basically on top of someone, and that is going to be a huge issue. But I mean, I would like to have even more strength than this. This isn't phenomenal, but it's not bad. This is at least decent strength. We're going to be able to pick up more or less whatever we want to, carry around a decent amount of equipment. But these are our actual I guess you'd say innate abilities are pretty good, but our skills are just trash if we go with this. But I just don't want to go with lower than 85s here. So guys, this is what we're going with. I know we're going to regret this 40 here, but you know, hopefully we can get it trained up pretty quick. And the fact that we've got a high wisdom should really help with that. So we're going to go with certain, and let's pick a portrait here. So let's pick this one.
Time for the enemy to say its prayers.
We have some inconveniences to dispose of.
Does he just say this?
We have some
Okay, so
Time to take out the trash.
they're not going to say a different thing each time. Okay, so I'm going to go with time to take out the trash there at the end there. I like that. So I think we're good. We've got our dude. So let's go ahead and authorize our payment for $3,000, and he's going to arrive here now. Another really good thing about the first about your personal mercenary is once you've created him, yeah, you do pay $3,000 for him, but after that, you don't have to pay for him. You don't have to pay for him to keep him up. Now he can die and the game can still go on, so it's not really you. It's just kind of your, I don't know. I've always thought of him as your main guy. So anyway, let's go into aim here now. I have often spent a whole bunch of time on this, so I actually, like I said, I did load the game up, and I put a little bit of thought into this, so we can kind of move on here. Now, once again, just really quick for anyone who may not have a lot of experience with the game or any experience with the game, all these guys have different kinds of skills. What we're going to want is, actually, I want to take a really quick peek at what my guy. Oh, we got Night Ops Expert. Very interesting. I was kind of hoping that we got something like an auto weapons or something like that, but we got Night Ops Expert. You know, I think we can make that work. Anyway, let's go back to aim here. So, anyway, what we want to do here is we want to find. We need a medic. We need someone who can heal wounds, because there will be wounds. And then we're going to need a mechanic, someone who can repair weapons. Okay. Now, and then it would be nice, just as an added bonus, it would be nice if we could get someone who could pick locks and someone who could deal with explosives. Those are just extra bonuses. I don't think we necessarily need those things right now, but they would be nice on the side things. Okay, so as far as I know, the only mechanics on the bottom of the screen here, the first one that we have access to, because this is a range from cheapest, a bull, to most expensive, Gus. So the cheapest, the lowest mechanic on the totem pole is Steroid, and then the next one up is Wolf. And I actually like a lot of things about Steroid. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of hate for Steroid to be, and a lot of it's fair. I mean, he's got pretty poor agility, so he doesn't have a lot of action points. He's got pretty poor dexterity, but I actually kind of like his personality. I like that, like, you know, overblown machismo. I grew up on the 80s and 90s, like, action movies. So, like, you know, I don't know. I love that stuff. So, so I actually like him a lot, but you know, what we need to do is go for, I guess, I think Wolf here is, probably a more legitimate bet. Look at his skills. He's got, you know, pretty decent agility, pretty decent dexterity, you know, somewhere around what we've got. He's also got really good strength, really good, health. And then he's, you know, pretty competent in these other areas, you know, including, mechanical. He's not phenomenal in mechanical, but pretty decent. Plus he starts out with a shotgun, which is actually a pretty decent starting weapon here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start out with Wolf. Now I actually didn't really think about finances though. We do have 32,000 bucks. So if we spend 8,000 plus, so that's going to be roughly 10,000 for him. And then the next thing we need is a medic. And the medics that I was considering were either Spider or Fox. Spider is a better medic, but Fox would be one. Look at her stats here. She's actually quite good. She's got a little bit low strength, but she's got pretty good agility and dexterity. And then her marksmanship, not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And she's got ambidexterity, which can also be pretty useful early game. I find that it's not that great late game when you're using mostly rifles, but that's pretty good. So those would be the first two that I would use, and she's going to cost for at least a week 5,000 bucks. So that's not too bad. So if we were doing 10,000 and 5,000, that's 15,000. That leaves us with 17,000. And then if we were going to get an explosives, we could go for red, but Barry is actually a fairly reasonable choice, because Barry has explosives and lockpicking. Barry has explosives and lockpicking, and he's got actually reasonable skills here. I mean, his agility is fairly low. I'm not going to lie, his agility is fairly low, but he's got decent marksmanship and decent everything else, pretty good wisdom. But he's got lockpicking and he's very good with explosives, so he would actually be pretty good. And that he would only cost us, you know, an extra 5,000. So we would actually be able to get all of them, and then possibly even someone else. So anyway, let's go ahead and hire these people.
Wolf here.
If they're willing to work for us.
What kind of time frame do you have in mind?
Oh, I didn't look at the medical deposit. You know, that actually changes things. So let's go ahead
Nobody does anything like I do.
Let's go ahead and get him.
Can't wait to get there.
Let's go ahead and get him, and then let's go ahead and get Fox.
Okay, I imagine you'll want to get mech.
Yes.
Get
No,
my things together.
we didn't go for the 2 weeks. But so we've got them now. If we were to go for Barry, that would probably preclude. Actually, no, he does not have a. Look at that. He doesn't have medical. So he would only be. What is that? Somewhere around 5,000, which would leave us. Just over 7,000. How much is blood? Okay, he's 7,000, but then optional gear. So sadly. Oh man, that kind of sucks. Because I was actually really wanting blood. Actually, I was debating between, so in terms of just getting someone in there who's just there to, you know, kill people. And that's it. I was debating between blood and Igor if I had enough money to get someone else. So Igor is going to be cheaper. Igor's good. I mean, look at his stats. His dexterity is a little bit low, but look at this stuff. 91, 89, 82, and he's got pretty good marksmanship. So I think I'm going to go with Barry and Igor.
Hello. How long you want me to work?
Transfer funds.
We have reached.
And then we're going to go with Igor as well. And
what kind of
that is going to get the job done. So we got 5 mercenaries. That's not too bad. let's take a really quick look at our guys here. So, Wolf has teaching and night ops. Sadly, I don't think we're going to use his teaching a whole lot because he's going to be on repair duty, making sure our weapons are in good condition. We've got teaching and ambidexterity. Sadly, she's probably not going to be teaching a whole lot because she's going to be making sure that we're all healed. Barry is electronics and lockpicking. We're going to be mostly using his lockpicking. You know, I got to be honest, I don't remember a whole lot about what electronics do. I think that you can build a couple of different things, but it's been so long, guys, that I really don't remember what all those things are. And then Igor is stealthy, so that's going to come in. That's going to come in handy. But right now, we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and shut this down, and let's go ahead and move into our first mission. So we only have these guys for 7 days, which means we're going to have to procure some money. We're going to have to procure some income before those 7 days are up. So we will talk.
Flying in low. I had to look up to see the squirrels. I'm sure glad to have my feet planted firmly on the ground. Now, which way to the rebel hideout?
Okay. All right, I'm sure that helicopter didn't draw any attention whatsoever.
Enemy exists in region.
Yes.
Okay.
Get to it.
And let's sneak.
Get to it.
This is probably not the best move here.
You called?
Get someone
Just heard a noise.
get someone
What
looking
did I
that way.
hear?
Whoa, okay, I was
Time
about to say
take out the
we needed to
trash.
look in this direction. Blaive is right here. I'm just gonna shoot at him with Blaive because he's so close, and we need to get shots off with Blaive because, well, he's super, super terrible. Okay, so we landed a hit. And this should do it. So let's see. These let's do it with Barry, because Barry's also pretty weak in turn. Oh well, I mean relatively speaking. Actually, you know what? Fox has got less accuracy than Barry. So let's take the shot with her.
Sweet dreams.
Something over there.
Okay, dropped some 38 ammo. Not too bad. We need to get a defensive set up around here. I'm gonna get. They could come through this door, so I'm gonna get Wolf over here.
He's terrible.
Oh man, this guy came right out around here. Okay, Wolf, Fox, Barry, and Igor. Barry got the interrupt, and he's facing the other direction. So yeah, these guys are really, really bad. These guys are really bad. He drilled him. It was good to use the 38 ammo there because that guy dropped some. And he dropped some 357. Ooh, he dropped a Desert Eagle. That's pretty cool. That'll be a good, I guess, second gun maybe for Fox to use. Because we want to get a second gun for her because she's got the ability to wield two at the same time. Okay, so let's see. I remember that you can. I don't want to do it this second.
Remember, there's at least one.
Yeah, you can
nearby.
strafe. You can strafe. Okay. Oh shoot.
Yes.
Okay.
Done.
Okay, I'm struggling.
Noise.
I'm struggling clicking
Get
here.
ready. They're here.
Ah.
Okay, just wreck this guy. I'm surprised that only did 38. But yeah, Igor facing that direction. There's no way he's gonna get the interrupt on him coming around that corner. Because he's
called?
he's solid. He's solid.
What a drag!
Yeah, these guys are just throwing themselves at us right now, and it is not working out for them.
Yeah, we did them all. I love that.
Yeah, this is an enemy-free zone.
The enemy is cold.
Okay, so
called?
that was
Will do.
nothing. In fact, I actually remember this mission being harder than that. So that's actually kind of weird.
Got it.
So, and that's interesting. But, you know, hey, it's what it is. So, what we'll want to do is take a quick look around, and I'll probably do that in between episodes, to be honest, because there's just going to be a lot of houses around here, and I'm going to want to go into them and see if there's anything good. Because a lot of time, I mean, well, there's probably nothing good, but anything that we can use. Because at this point, basically anything is something that we can use. And for the most part, there's going to be nothing in these houses. But there might be an item or two, and that could be good. So I'm going to do that in between episodes. But what we've done here is arrive on scene in Arulco, right? So that is that is a positive thing, I guess you could say. You could say that. And we've got ourselves a squad. I'm hoping that I haven't created any conflicts. It's been so long that I don't remember all of the interminglings and how everyone relates to everyone else, because I know that a lot of people really hate other people, and a good number of people actually like working with other people and get a morale boost. So you know, maybe we'll kind of learn some of those pathways as we go here again, because you know, I'm going to be learning a lot of this again as I go. But man, I don't ever remember this map being that easy. You know, I remember getting in like these prolonged firefights with my guys as they're learning to get good, because you know, at the beginning they're not really that good, and the range of these pistols is really bad, so you've got to really work on, you know, outmaneuvering the other guys, instead of just, you know, having these prolonged sessions where you're slinging lead at each other and just hoping that you get them before they get you. But yeah, they all just ran to us, so that ended up working out. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks so much for watching, and we're going to be picking up pretty much right here next time.